Do you ever feel shy or guilty about putting yourself and your career goals first? Hi, I'm Carly Myers, your friendly stress management expert, and this month we are breaking down the stigma around being selfish. And I brought on an amazing guest, Stephanie, who is a job search consultant that helps soft-spoken women and men land soul-aligned, guys, soul-aligned, six-figure. Should I just repeat all of these? Six-figure corporate careers. Her global online business has transformed the lives of thousands of underpaid and uninspired professionals by teaching them how to tap into their corporate worth, interview powerfully, and negotiate high six-figure salaries. Her work has been featured in LinkedIn as an expert voice. So She Slays, The Muse, SheNavigates.com, as well as in-person and online workshops. She's turning awkward interviewees into confident multiple offer. Can I say that again? Multiple offer earners around the globe. I am so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Carly. Thank you for the introduction. I love it.
No problem. No problem. So, I mean, this is big stuff. The top two stressors in the United States are job pressure and money. And it sounds like you are tackling the top two stressors in the United States. So I'm so excited to hear how you got here.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I started out in recruitment for a few different companies. First was, the boiler room, salesy recruitment. I transitioned into just some corporate roles, Amazon and Sony. I built out a few recruitment teams there. And after, taking a trip to Japan, dealing with some burnout and coming back and having, some interesting experiences with, my last company, I decided to just go into business for myself. The thing that I love the most is actually just helping people one-on-one anyway. So it's been a blessing and I'm happy to be here.
Oh my goodness. And we were talking pre-show about your trip abroad, and it sounds like it was life-changing, and all of the things, like all of the transitionary, like you got to hit the, what do they say? Like the shadows of the valley of death or whatever. But like you had an opportunity to just transform and blossom in such a way that a lot of us don't have that. I'm in awe.
I think everyone should do it at some point. For me, it was definitely needed, and I'm a completely different person because of it. So if any of you guys are going through burnout or just disillusionment, you can take some time off and go do something crazy, come back and just put on your LinkedIn, I went on a sabbatical, and you're still hireable. So
I love that. So I'm curious, like in terms of selfishness, because we are like we're talking about putting ourselves first this month. Like, what does selfish mean to you?
It's the opposite of what we're taught to be, and it's what other people are just given, they grow up with. So I love that we can just change the conversation about selfishness. I love that now we can embody it because there's so many other people walking this earth that have been embodying it their whole lives, and it's our time now to do the same. So yeah.
How do we do that? How do we start putting ourselves first in our careers, in our getting what we're worth? I'm showing my money fingers right now, showing what we're worth in the workforce.
Yeah, so I definitely sort of manage the job search. So in your job search, you can just understand that you're qualified already, and that you know that there are other people that are your competitors that know that they're qualified. And because of this, just unconsciously, a company, an employer, a recruiter will offer them 5K to 10K to even 15K thousand more than they'll offer you, just because of our unconscious sort of, okay, this person thinks they're worthy, they're probably worthy. So know that you're qualified already. I tell my clients that we recruitment teams typically don't get on the phone with you unless you're like a 70-80% fit. So we're not wasting time. We're not like doing you a favor to interview you. We think that, okay, we can hire this person. So that's probably my tip number one. And I have some other tips we talked about before, just in terms of when you're actually working. But for job seekers, you guys should definitely embody that.
So, okay. So when we're already working, like we're in that, what should we do to be selfish?
Well, for me, what worked was just understanding that me playing meek or, hiding parts of myself, not being as big and as powerful as I could be was costing the company money. So, me taking longer to answer questions or lead a meeting or share my views in a meeting, or, just really just be responsive and not really care so much about what other people think, was slowing down the meeting, was frustrating my business partners, was, affecting how I would, I guess, move through that company. So, for me, that I know that's a little bit different from like the term selfishness, but just knowing that, you're costing the company money by not embodying who you really are and just being as powerful as you deserve to be.
Yeah. And it makes me think about, though, like a lot of the reasons why we want to be selfish because we want to make a bigger impact on the world. We want to be able to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is important to know. Like I have to stand in my confidence. I have to stand in my power, because if I don't, there are stakes outside of just me.
Literally, like dollar amounts attached to it.
Crazy.
So yeah.
And we were talking before the show, like people, not only are there dollar amounts, but people actually like people more that like themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, we all know that one person that can be, come across as maybe vapid or vain or self-interested, but also everyone just really seems to like her. I had someone in college like this. Everyone was, obsessed with her, and we all, did so many things for her birthday, like months in advance. We're planning and we're just, putting her on this pedestal. But, if you look at her objectively, potentially someone could say that she's like selfish and, vain and like, but also, all these other wonderful qualities too. And so I like to invite all of us to kind of take that on, because we cater to people like that. And as long as you're not hurting someone, you're being kind, what's wrong with it? So yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of that like old saying, uh, I'm not even going to try. I'm so bad. You'll learn that I don't know how to do any idioms or sayings, but it reminds me of one of them that I'm going to butcher, which is that you have to love yourself before you can love others. But more specifically, like we show other people how to love us. And so like, if we are confident, if we love us, if we put our needs first, like other people understand and they follow suit.
Absolutely. It's like a catch-22. You can't get mad at the world or, a spouse or a potential love interest if they're not, treating you nicely, if, you're not treating yourself nicely. So,
Yeah. It's funny. I was just talking to a client the other day. One of her coping mechanisms when she feels insecure is to do self-deprecating jokes.
mhm.
And so she would do these jokes all the time, when she got uncomfortable. And what that did is that gave permission to other people in her life, in her office, her personal relationships, where they would start making jokes about her that weren't great and they weren't helpful. And then we dug back. How did this start? Where did this come from? And it was the fact that she gave people permission for doing it because she laughed at her own pain, so everyone else could, quote unquote, too, right? So that's huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this show. This was so good, and there was so much more we're going to dig into, I know, later on.
Yes, I hope so. Definitely at the show, not at the conference, excuse me, not the show, but for sure.
Absolutely. So for those of us who are at home, I want to know, like, we want to know, how do you practice being selfish at work? Like, how do you practice putting yourself first so that you can, first of all, you feel good, but second of all, so that you're not impacting the bottom line in a bad way, right? You're making money, you're making good stuff happen. Now, I also want to say at this point, you're probably wondering why we are so hype about being selfish. And aside from the obvious, right, it's important to take care of ourselves, to put ourselves first. I've co-founded a conference called Selfish Philly that Stephanie is going to be a part of. We are so excited about it. She's going to be sharing more of her expertise there. Look, I'm going to be real. We are going to have free facials. We are going to have free massages. We are going to have Philadelphia's best wellness resources. I'm like shaking my head because this is crazy. And not only that, incredible speakers. So we will be talking about and here's the thing. We're also not going to be talking about the easy stuff. We're going to be talking about real stuff. We're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about pleasure. We're going to be talking about the things that prevent us from becoming selfish, from being that person that puts ourselves first. So it is going to be one of the biggest wellness events that Philadelphia has seen. I'm just so excited about it. So to be able to find more information, here's what you're going to do. You're going to click the link in the description, or if you're watching on Insta, you're going to click the link in our bio. All right. Thank you again, Stephanie, so much for coming on the show. We are so excited for you to meet everybody in person at Selfish Philly.
So necessary. And I hope you guys eventually come to New York too. So
awesome. All right. So this concludes this episode of the Stress Less Show. If you enjoyed this week's episode, let us know by giving us a big old thumbs up or hitting that follow and subscribe button. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.